when we're going through some kind of turbulence in our lives, it can increase our anxiety and can become kind of tempting to just want everything to ease up, to just slow down, relax, calm down, and get back to what we like to call normal. For example, though it's been a while since a lot of us have been on a plane, that's how I feel when I'm on a plane and all of a sudden the ride gets pretty bumpy. Calm down, I'll say to myself as I'm sitting there in the seat. Although I'm not 100% sure whether I'm talking to myself in that moment or to the plane. If we're in a relationship and all of a sudden the relationship enters into a difficult spot, having a deep difference or argument with a loved one, we may also find ourselves getting anxious and just want everything in the argument to go away. Although sometimes the way we would like for the argument to just go away would be for the other person to give in and agree with our side of the argument. When we or a loved one are going through some kind of a health crisis, there can be a part of us in that health crisis that just wants to wave a magic wand and make the turbulent health crisis just go away. And at a time when our society is deeply polarized around so many different issues, when we are coming to terms with the deep wounds of racism and racial injustice, there can be a part of us that just wants it all to get better without our having to do the hard work of self-examination in the midst of those issues. This summer here at Lewinsville, we are preaching our way through the stories of the family of Abraham and Sarah from the book of Genesis. And at the very beginning of those stories, back in Genesis chapter 12, God tells Abraham, "Go from your country to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you so that you will be a blessing." Now, when God tells Abraham this in Genesis 12, God doesn't tell Abraham about all of the different ups and downs of the stories that are to come, doesn't tell him about the turbulence that is in his family's future. Abraham might not have gone if he had known all of those things. God's promise of blessing is going to work itself out through and in the midst of all of the turbulence of Abraham's family and its future. Ann Schwartz here at Lewinsville has told me, and may have told some of you, about a sign that she passes when she's on her way, I think, to Bethany Beach. Ann has given me permission to share this story. When she goes to the beach, Ann passes a sign that says, "God never promised us a smooth ride, just a safe landing." Now, I love that. I find that to be a very helpful reminder that applies in all kinds of different situations in our lives. Things may get turbulent along the way, but the turbulence does not mean that God is no longer with us. God is with us all the way through to guide us ultimately to where God wants us to be. God is with you all the way through, all the way along. God is with us every single step of the way, no matter how bumpy or how hard or how choppy things may get in our lives or in our society. God is working God's purposes out through us and through the turbulence that is around us. Knowing this, knowing that God is with us and that God is working God's purposes out through all of the turbulence that we are going through, knowing that can help us to get out of bed in the morning, can give us the necessary courage to keep at it and the necessary trust to live with the peculiar joy in the midst of challenges and difficulties, the peculiar joy that God imparts. Friends, stay safe, be well, and may you come to know God's presence with you in deeper and deeper ways in the midst of your life this week. We'll see you soon.